Once upon a time, a witch loved stories galore, and greedy as she was, she wanted more and more. When she saw that the librarian had stories of all kinds, she said, "I'll capture you, all your stories will be mine." There took place a curious chase through meadow, tree, and flower, till at last they ended up right at the witch's tower. Now poor Marian the librarian, a prisoner she'll stay, until the witch is happy and lets Marian go away.
Oh, hello. Oh, I just had the most wonderful surprise. Do you know Kerfumbly actually let me go back to the library just for a visit to say Merry Christmas to all my friends there. I guess she isn't mean all the time. And now if I could just find her the right story, I think she really would let me go out of here for good. But what could that story be? You know, she just gave me a nice surprise. Maybe she'd like a story about someone who gave somebody else a nice surprise. Someone like, the Elves. Remember how the Elves surprised the Shoemaker? Let's see if we can find something from their story. Now look at that. Doesn't that look like the kind of a shoe that a shoemaker would make? See the stitching around the toe? Wonder what else we can find. I think these are his tools, his hammer, and some leather, and a needle, and some of that heavy cord to sew with. And one more thing. Look at this. Some tiny little shoes and a little vest. That looks just about the size for an elf to wear, doesn't it? Let's put these in the machine. The shoemaker's tools, and the shoe, and the clothes for the elf. And we'll turn the machine on. And it is the Shoemaker and the Elves. Once upon a time, there lived an old shoemaker and his wife. They worked hard every day, from morning until night. But in spite of this, they were very poor. So poor that they could hardly find the money to buy new leather. At last the day came when they had leather enough to make just one pair of shoes, and not a scrap more. "There," said the old man, "the leather is cut. When morning comes, we will sew the pieces into shoes." "Yes," replied the old lady, "we must work carefully, for this is all we have." So they left the pieces of leather with their tools on the workbench and went to bed. "Bless me, what have we here? A miracle? How strange! I cannot believe my eyes." When the shoemaker and his wife awoke the next morning, what should they find but a beautiful pair of shoes, neatly finished, standing on the table waiting for them. And what splendid shoes they were! The old shoemaker himself had never seen such fine work. The first customer to enter the shop was so taken by the shoes that she bought them on the spot, gladly paying well for them. "What beautiful shoes," she said. "I must have them at once." The shoes fetched such a good price that there was more than enough money to buy leather for 2 pair of shoes. Quietly, quietly, stealthily, stealthily, glancing this way and that, at midnight 5 little elves crept out into the darkness of the shop. "We are the Shoemaker elves, and here we are to make the shoes." "Squeak, goes the leather, and the hammers clack. Hurry, hurry with our work. We must be done before the dawn. The little elves made their fingers fly. In no time at all, the shoes were finished. Just look at this, good wife, the shoemaker said. Here are the shoes again, all ready and waiting for us. Well, I never, she said, and 2 pairs at that. This time also they soon sold the shoes, and after they bought their food and fuel, they still had enough money left to buy leather for 4 more pairs. That night they laid the cut leather on the table. Once again, in the morning, the shoes were finished. This went on for some time, and soon the shoemaker and his wife grew rich. One day the old man said, I wonder who our mysterious helper may be. Why don't we stay up tonight and find out? Yes, dear husband, his wife replied. I think it's high time we did that. Midnight came. The shoemaker and his wife peeped out from behind the cracks in the curtain. Why, look! It's elves! Even as the old couple watched, the elves stitched the shoes together, hammered them, and polished them, and then in a twinkling, the elves were gone. The next morning, the old lady said, Poor little elves! Did you see that they were barefoot? And how they shivered! Why don't we make some shoes and warm jackets for them? The old man made 5 tiny pairs of shoes. The old lady stitched 5 neat little vests. When evening came, they laid their gifts out on the table. Midnight came, and the little elves appeared again. When they found their new clothes, they were surprised and delighted. Quickly they slipped into the jackets and pulled on the shoes. Hurrah, hurrah! We're fine little men. No more the cobbler's bench, never again, they sang as they danced out into the night. The old couple never saw their helpers again, but the shop was always filled with customers, and there was always money to buy shoe leather or anything else the shoemaker and his wife might desire. Rich and content, they lived happily for long after. Wasn't that a good story? Hey, I know a song about the shoemaker and the elves, too. It's a song, but it's also kind of a game, because when I stop singing, then you can sing the rhyming word that comes next. Let's try it, all right? The shoemaker and his wife worked in the store, but though they worked hard, they were still very poor. Good. Then elves came to work quickly as they were able, and when they left there were 2 shoes on the table. Good. Each day the shoemaker found shoes on the shelves. Each night back to his shop came all the elves. Then the shoemaker told his wife, let's watch tonight. So they stayed in the shop and they turned out the light. And in came the elves using scissors and glue and leather and thread as they made every shoe. The shoemaker and his wife said to themselves, we must make some shoes and some vests for the elves. The happy elves danced and the shop filled with laughter, and everyone lived happily ever after. Why, that's very good. You're good with rhyming words, aren't you? I wonder if Kerfumbly would like to play that game. Let's go call her. Would you help me? Start with your left hand. Left and right and Zachary Zoo. Here's a story just for you.
Oh, well, hello, dearie. Oh, did you enjoy your surprise visit back to the library?
Kerfumbly, I had such a wonderful time. And I have a story for you that has a surprise in it.
Oh, the Shoemaker and the Elves. Why, I heard that story when I was just a little bit.
You did? Well, then you can play a game. Come and sit down, Kerfumbly.
All right.
This game is one where I sing the song, and then when I stop singing, you sing the rhyming word that would come next.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay? Ready?
Uh-huh.
The shoemaker and his wife worked in their store, and though they worked hard, they were still very
Hungry.
No, Kerfumbly, it has to rhyme. Worked in their store, still very poor.
Oh.
Poor. Let's try another one. Ready?
All right, yes.
Then elves came to work quickly as they were able, and when they left there were 2 shoes on the...
Workbench.
No, Kerfumbly, it's table. Able, table. That was a hard one. We'll do another one. Ready?
Yes.
Then the shoemaker told his wife, let's watch tonight. So they stayed in the shop and they turned out the...
Cat.
Cat?
Well, yes, cat. Well, didn't they have a cat?
Well, I don't know, but Kerfumbly, it has to rhyme. Let's watch tonight. Turn out the...
Turn out the... Light. Light.
Good. There, now you've got it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do one more. Ready? The shoemaker and his wife said to themselves, we must make some shoes and some vests for the...
Neighbors.
Neighbors? Oh, Kerfumbly, how could it be neighbors? What are you doing? No, don't do that. Don't put that in there.
Oh, Marion, you look so funny. Why, you're all covered with snow.
Kerfumbly, you are a very poor sport.
Well, you laughed at me, and that wasn't very nice.
Well, you're right. I'm sorry I laughed.
Well, I'm sorry I threw the book back in the machine. Now you'll have to make me another story. Oh, and I know what it can be about.
About what?
Why, snow, snow. Have a story about snow. And now I must go. Snow, go. Why, I made a rhyme. Yes, it rhymes. Snow, go. Snow, go.
Will you look for a story about snow? And now I must go. I'll see you next time. That's the end of my rhyme.
Once upon a time, a witch loved stories galore, and greedy as she was, she wanted more and more. When she saw that the librarian had stories of all kinds, she said, I'll capture you, all your stories will be mine. There took place a curious chase through meadow, tree, and flower, till at last they ended up right at the witch's tower. Now poor Marian, the librarian, a prisoner she'll stay, until the